everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on all types of topics related to narcissism. So if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. I would really appreciate it if you gave the video a thumbs up. It's a free way you can help me out, and definitely don't forget to leave a comment because I like to read what you have to say. So last night I was taking a walk with Joe like we usually do, and Joe asked me what I was going to do today's video on. I told him that two things inspired this video. One was a book I'm reading, Think and Grow Rich, and the second was my own recovery from narcissistic abuse. The book and the recovery share something in common: the power of your mind, the power that you have inside of yourself already to achieve anything you set your mind to, even recovering from narcissistic abuse. My recovery has been very different than anyone else's that I know of. I didn't struggle. I left and didn't turn around. I didn't have anguish that I was going through. It was a happy moment. It was really free at last. Now I have a perfect analogy of my recovery. Several times my kids and I have rescued, rehabilitated, and released wild animals. When we release an animal, we bring it to what we think is a safe location, open the cage, and stand back. Typically, the animal tentatively inches forward, and sometimes it doesn't do that, and we have to kind of shake the cage a little bit to get it to move to the front. But eventually, the animal runs for it. I did the same thing. Many of you know this story, but for those of you that don't, my entanglement, and Joe and I call our prior relationships entanglements, ended dramatically, like they usually do. My ex hurt himself in front of me and the kids. He banged his head over and over on the wall, and while he was doing that, he was screaming, "Mommy's hurting me, Mommy's hurting me." If I had video of myself from that night, I must have been standing there with my mouth wide open. I literally could not believe what I was seeing. It was absolutely insane. My kids were watching this. The three of us were just standing there watching this happen. So I called the police. It was absolutely terrorizing. So the police come over to the house, and more shock, my ex stumbles over to the police. He was bleeding profusely at that time. Head wounds. He wasn't that injured, but head wounds they bleed profusely. He's stumbling over there, telling the police that I did this, that I hurt him, that I abused him, and he wanted to press charges. He wanted me arrested. I know that the only thing that saved me was the size difference between us. That, and that he did it in front of my kids who were witnesses. Which, there was that, but I know the size difference was a huge factor. One of the police officers actually said to me, "There's a noticeable size difference between the two of you. I'm not sure that you would be able to do that." That really saved me, and it made me realize something. And all you men who are listening to this, please be careful. One of the benefits that we have once we know we're with a narcissist is we can predict the things that they will do. Narcissists like to think that they're original and special and wonderful, but they all follow the same playbook. And one of the things that they do is they will use the police against you. Now, I have other videos about that. I'll link them below. Narcissists do this. They'll use whatever they can against you. And if they could get you arrested, they will do it. And this actually happened to Joe. He has been actually arrested, cuffs on, in the back of the squad car, driven away because of lies his ex said about him. So if you are a man, please keep that in mind. It's really important. And I'm going to tell you something else. At this point in my entanglement, I wasn't sleeping with my ex. He was sleeping in the basement on the couch. There have been several times I've thought about that night and what I know he would do. He would not be thinking to himself, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did something so stupid. My poor wife, I have her in jail for something she didn't do." No, he would have climbed into bed, pulled the covers up, and slept like a baby. It is absolutely crucial to remember that. But that is what it took for me to get the courage to end my entanglement. It took that. And like that wild animal, I was tentative for a few days, but soon I bolted and never looked back. I didn't hope he would change. I began to live. I snapped back. So I know it's possible. Now with a few years and being in a new, real, and happy relationship, I have perspective, and I want to share it with all of you. You, me, we were always too good for the narcissist. They never deserved us. So think about that. When I was with my ex, I poured myself into being a wife and mother. His happiness was important to me. I treated him well. I took care of him. He mattered to me. Now, the other thing, too, is narcissists lie continuously. How many times have you forgiven a narcissist for lying to you? How many times have you bought their false apology? So that all factored in there, too. Now, I can remember once we went away over my ex's birthday. Today, this actually makes me shake my head in disgust, but my ex used to smoke, so I knew he would leave the hotel. He later told me, and this just irritates me, he later told me that what he used to do is, like if we went away somewhere, he would make up some excuse why he had to leave. And sometimes it was to smoke cigarettes, sometimes it was, I'm going to go pick up the pizza, let's get pizza, I'll pick it up, whatever it was, because he wanted to go out and drink. So, while Mr. Wonderful was out drinking, the kids and I put up all over the room birthday decorations, handmade cards, we had gifts. My ex had the sweetest kids who excitedly did that with me. Today, these very same kids never want to see him again. He had a wife who used to literally lay his clothes out every morning before work. Today, I look back and thank God I'm not still with him. Think about people in hospitals right now asking God for more time. Life is valuable. You don't get a do-over, but you can change paths along the way. So don't waste time on the narcissist. I'm going to tell you some things that I learned in retrospect, 10 things, and I hope that they help you now. Number 1, thank God bad things happen. And I know that sounds weird, but bad things scare us into change. Unfortunately, for many of us, that's what it really takes. So imagine if you smoked cigarettes and then you had a cancer scare. You know, you were coughing a lot, or you just felt like tightness in your chest, and oh no, it's from smoking cigarettes. If it was me, I'd be praying to God, making him every promise under the sun. God, like you'd bargain with God, right? God, please let me not have cancer, and I promise that I'll quit smoking, I'll give money to charity. You're going to be a saint, whatever it is that you're going to do. You'll promise everything under the sun. And then if it was me, I'd be like, 2 things would happen. I'd want to go to the doctor in one way, because I'd want to find out that, maybe I don't have cancer, and maybe I'm worrying for nothing. But I'd also be afraid to go to the doctor, because I'd be afraid that I would be diagnosed with it, even though I would know that the sooner I'm diagnosed, the better chance I have for recovery. So let's say you go to the doctor, right, and you don't have cancer. How motivated would you be at that point to change your life, to quit smoking? So remember earlier in the video, I told you about the day my entanglement ended? I once thought that was the worst day of my life. And I have this image seared into my mind from that night. When my ex was forced out of the house, my kids and I witnessed him literally with 2 police officers, one grabbed each arm and pulled him out of the house forcibly. He was forcibly removed. He was screaming and kicking and yelling the entire time. He did this right in front of the kids. He didn't care. My kids saw everything. I was so upset. When he left, it was like this dam burst. I actually was hyperventilating. I've never hyperventilated in my life. I can remember kneeling down, squatting down. I couldn't stand. I was in my dining room. I was mortified. I was so upset. I could not catch my breath. I was hyperventilating, and I wanted the police to leave, but they wouldn't leave because I was so upset. So I can remember when I was a grown woman, a police officer squatting down next to me, rubbing my back, telling me everything was going to be okay. It was horrible. Today, though, I consider that to be the best day of my life, because that was my cage door being opened. Sometimes it takes pain to get something good. Now, the second one I want to talk about is never allow yourself to think like a victim. We aren't victims. We are blessed. It's so important to think of it that way. We aren't living with the wool over our eyes anymore. Now, there are times that Joe and I feel bad that our kids have witnessed the things that they have, that they've suffered, that we have to start over in our 40s. but not often. How we think about things matters. We aren't victims. So we tell ourselves, if we start to go down that path, no, we're blessed. It's not that we have to start over. We get to start over. I mean, think about the difference there. It's a blessing. Number 3, watch your internal conversation. This is very important. What you say to yourself about yourself matters. Never say anything negative about yourself, ever. Words and thoughts have power. If you have faith, you believe that God spoke everything into existence. Words brought everything into existence. Have you ever said something to somebody in anger? Did you live to regret it? The power of words. Have you ever stopped yourself from saying something in anger? How relieved did you feel later? Never underestimate the power of the mind. Whether you believe you can do something or whether you believe you can't, you're right. Our brains go with the dominating thoughts, whether they're good or bad. Watch the internal conversation. You can curse yourself. Never say bad things about yourself. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm this, I'm that. Never. You can, just like God literally spoke the world into existence, you can speak reality into existence. So watch what you say. Number 4, life is beautiful. Very often the bad times end up being a blessing in disguise. The only thing that stops you is you. You know, lately, now that it's spring, Joe and I have planted flowers all over the yard. When I walk around the yard and I see the beauty of the flowers, I feel happy. Life is beautiful. There is such a good life out there for all of us. And I know this is difficult for some of you to accept, but the only power a narcissist has over us is the power we give them. Always take responsibility for the state of your life. The hard truth is that our life is a product of our choices. You can see that most clearly in somebody's body. Instantly, by looking at somebody, you can tell if they take care of their body. Now, I'm not saying that things that people did are your fault, but look very carefully at your life and the choices. And remember, you're still making choices today. What choices will you make? Number 5, be the person you want to be even when it's hard. Do what that person would do every day and really think about it. Be intentional. You know, I started doing this a couple years ago, that same month that my entanglement ended. I was distraught because of everything that was going on. And I decided one day, I don't want my kids to live like this. I don't want my kids to see me upset all the time. I want my kids to have a happy life. I want them to see me with joy. I want them to have memories of me when they're older, knowing that I loved them, that there was happiness. They didn't have to be afraid. The reality is, if you're with a narcissist, you are the only parent, because the narcissist cannot be a real effective parent. And that puts a lot of pressure on you, but at the same time, we can do this. So I decided that same month I was going to be in a good mood. My kids were going to have joy in their life. Our home was going to be filled with laughter and good things, despite anything that was happening. Now, this wasn't always easy for me to do, but I did it, and I didn't always do it. There were times that I didn't, but gradually over time, it really became who I am. And today, like, people that know me now that didn't know me before, they think I'm like this happy-go-lucky person. The way I am in videos is how I really am in real life. You know, it doesn't always work out. Like I've mentioned before, I actually used to have a very thick Boston accent. It took me quite a while to change that. I had to always think ahead. I had to think what I was going to say, how I was going to say it. And it was actually, I could never have just spontaneous conversation. When I first started trying to be positive, it wasn't always easy to do. But just like my Boston accent, just like my personality, over time, I mean, our brains are malleable. We can change the way that we are, the way that we live. I know this because I have done it. You can do it. Just because it takes a little time, don't let it stop you, because you will succeed in it. Remember, if you think you can do something or not, you are right. Number 6, don't wait for the right time. you will wait forever. It's never going to be the right time. There'll always be some excuse. Don't think to yourself, oh, when little Billy graduates high school, then I'll leave. When I have enough money, then I'll leave. When this happens, then I'll leave. There will always be something that gets in your way. Now, granted, with that said, you do need to be smart about it. But at the end of the day, you are going to have to leave before you think you're ready. So get yourself prepared, think about this, make a plan, but understand the fear is going to be there. But we have to do it anyway. There is nobody that has left a narcissistic relationship and thinks to themselves, geez, I wish I had stayed a couple more years. I really wish I had given it another decade. No, you wish that you had left earlier. That's how I am, for sure. I left over 2.5 years ago. I wish that it was earlier than that. So you're never going to regret leaving, but you will regret leaving not soon enough. Number 8. Oh, no, I guess, yeah, we are at number 8. Sorry. Massive success is the best revenge, if that matters to you. Now, personally, I don't believe the narcissist should own any real estate in your mind, but if they do, that's just a little pep talk for yourself. Your success will destroy a narcissist. They won't be able to stand it. A narcissist wants you to fail. Even when you're with them, they want you to fail. They're sick, twisted people. They want the worst for you. So you have to want the best for yourself in order to accomplish that. So massive success, that will drive a narcissist absolutely crazy. And kind of a reiteration of what I've already said. Number 9, the narcissist never deserved you. You are or were the best thing that ever happened to them. Do not settle for someone that you know is a narcissist. Your destiny is elsewhere. Now, there were so many times when I was with my ex that I thought, all right, this is my fate. I'm going to just have to make the best of this, because the thought of leaving and starting over and doing everything again was exhausting. But once you're doing it, it's actually exhilarating, because it's not that you have to do this. You get to do this. It is such a gift. And like I've said, time is very valuable. It's one of your most valuable assets. Number 10, you can change. You can live the life that you want. I did it. And that's what I do with my channel. I tell you things that I have really done because I've done, and I'm not any different than anybody. It's not like I happen to have this superhuman strength or I have a big fat bank account. That's not true. But God blessed me and I went with it. And I want that for everybody. I really do. I cannot tell you that enough. I pray for the people who listen to this channel. I pray for people that are in narcissistic relationships, because I know there is life after narcissism. It's exhausting to think about starting over. It really is, I know. But when you're thinking about that, when you're with the narcissist, you have that on your mind too. But once you get out, once that cage door opens and you leave, it's a different world. It's almost like you're seeing things in a different color. It's like everything was black and white and drab and gray and it was raining. Now the birds are singing, the flowers are out. That's how it is. It really is. I'm telling you, life is fabulous when you're not with a narcissist. And I'm going to end this with a line from a poem. And I can't remember the poet who said this, but I don't want to take credit for it. Someone else wrote this, but it's very true. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. You really do have the power to do anything that you want in life. Everything that you need is already within you. Even if you think you can't do it, it's in there. It's almost like if you think about when it's a rainy, cloudy day, the sun is still shining. The clouds and the rain just have to go away, and there's the sun. That's how it is with us. The fear is in the way of our happiness. The fear is in the way of our courage. But if you get rid of that fear, behind that is a beautiful life. It doesn't matter how old you are, what you've had to do, you will never regret living a life free of narcissism. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate when everybody watches my videos. Thank you. And I hope this helped. That's really the main point of the channel, is I'm trying to help people, because I know I've been there. I'm still there. I'm still going through it. But I can tell you already, life is so much better without a narcissist. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend. Joe and I are planning to do a video this weekend. That's the plan. It doesn't always work out, but Hopefully Joe and I will be here together on Monday. If not, I'll see you by myself, but we should be able to do this. And I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. God bless everybody.